Okay, you've read Weight Loss Apocalypse?
Correct,
Did
yes.
you get it from a friend?
No, I downloaded it from the site.
Okay, you've done the protocol before. Was it homeopathic HCG?
It was homeopathic, yes.
Okay. Did you order that on the internet or did you get it from...
No, I had a friend in California that developed it.
Okay, so he or she's a pharmacist?
It was done overseas, so I'm not sure.
Got it.
Credentials.
Got it. Okay. That's common. And then what got you to want to look for a program?
I loved the concept. I just didn't get the results or the training, I think. I didn't really understand what to look for. I didn't understand the emotional part of it.
Well, did you go to the internet? Is that how you found us?
Yes.
Okay, and then you found the book on the website, ordered it, read it. That's right, because you called in last week and I talked to you. I said, all right, well, that's great. You've got number 1 done and you've watched some of those videos, which is great, great, great. You've did a bunch of work. And then I said, all right, now it's time to actually practice. And I remember you say, yeah, I've been doing that. And I said, oh, hold on. You've probably been eating diet food while you're practicing. And do you remember me saying, that's not legit. We need real food. Like, I want you to go get what your body desires. Listen to your palate. I want you to listen to your mouth. I want you to listen to your, in that present moment, what sounds good, right? Nice. And then we talked about, very briefly, if there's judgment and shame, your body's going to have a stress response. You're going to eat far faster. You're not even going to let yourself truly taste the food because the pleasure in the taste comes with guilt. So you got to get rid of it, right? Do you remember me talking to you about that?
Yes, I do.
And then your accuracy then with the hunger scale sucks. Because you're not really listening to the body, you're listening to your panic attack in relation to your shame and guilt over pleasure. So I said you have the freedom to eat anything you want and you are not allowed to have guilt and shame. However, the boundary is that you have to eat slow enough and enjoy that pleasure enough that when your body says it's physically satisfied, meaning it's not, that hunger is gone, you are to stop, even though that there's still presence and pleasure. How did that go for you?
It was very confusing.
Yeah, there's a natural learning curve, right? There's a natural process of figuring it out. And so it should feel confusing. Everybody's confused to start.
Well, I don't honestly think I even know what true hunger feels like. I don't know what this, yes, I looked at the hunger scale, but I don't know how my body.
Are you afraid? Is there fear of being hungry?
Yeah, well, it's, yes, it probably is fear and prior experience as far as, I've been told, I think everybody's been told, if you don't eat breakfast, then you won't perform as well.
Yeah, so you've never had your own tangible experience, however, to verify or validate that.
Right.
But you just believed whatever they said was true and then did whatever they say. And your body responds to that truth as if you're going to die, right? If you don't have breakfast, shit's going to hit the fan.
Right. I'm not going to perform well during the day.
Oh, you know what? This is so common. You're normal. You're part of that diet culture. And you've been a part of the diet culture since the 80s.
Try 70s, yes.
All right. Well, I was trying to, So, one of the things that I read on your history form that we didn't talk about, I just read it 5 minutes ago. You're going through divorce. This is, and that is really a difficult time to do. And it's rocking your world. How can it not, right? How long were you married?
35 years.
Yeah. Think about what that's doing to your sense of security. Don't you agree that regardless of the relationship with the marriage, you've acclimated to another person in your life. your home environment has been acclimated, your sex has been acclimated, your sex drive, you've been compatible with this person. It's obviously worked because it's been 35 years. Either that or you've been unhappy and just miserable and trying to cope somehow. But either way, we can assume over a 35-year period of time, you've created a sense of security in the home, in that atmosphere with this person. So what happens, however it's falling apart, for both people, you are like in an adolescent stage. It's like leaving the nest of your parents, but it's traumatically negative, I'm assuming.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And what do you think that's doing to your brain? How is your brain perceiving this?
It doesn't like it. It hurts.
It's painful. And it's more than likely when the brain perceives pain, what does it want you to do?
To comfort it?
No, to leave it. To not want it. The last thing the brain has been wired to do is to go into danger, right?
Right.
Because that's essentially what pain is. That's a form of danger. That's a form of threat. And the brain has been wired for survival to want to leave. Avoid. Don't go there. So the brain can't decipher that it honestly thinks you're dying. And in a way, that don't you believe there is a death going on?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not physical. However, it still is manifesting as if you're actually dying. So your body is extremely sensitive to stimulus right now.
I'd agree.
Yeah, and you're probably having symptoms of fight or flight. Do you know what some of those symptoms are? Heart palpitations, shortness of breath, pressure on your chest, hot flashes, difficulty maintaining body temperature. You might be freezing all the time, or moments of like heat. It kind of should feel like menopause in a way. Lack of sleeping, anxiety, fear, anger. There's a lot of just in general, it's a very wide and deep, profound sense of discontent. Okay? And not only does it manifest physically, but how you're perceiving this change can make it better or worse. So there's probably moments or waves where you're like, this is so good. Why did we wait this long? I feel empowered. I feel independent. I feel like the world is abundant in front of me. And then there's bigger waves of this. He's an asshole. I hate him. Why did I give my life to him? He's causing me pain, 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 pain. Right?
Right.
And you just hope to God the grieving component of this ends sooner than later, right? At some point, time will heal.
Absolutely.
I know. I've never been divorced, but I've been divorced with religion, and I've been divorced with a body image. I've had my same divorce in a different way. And I don't really fully understand, but I can connect on some level with you. So would you say it's a natural thing to want to escape death and pain?
Of course.
Okay, and how have you been escaping? Chardonnay?
No.
Cocktails? I know a bunch of you said, yeah, that's it. I want my Chardonnay. Whatever it is. Marijuana, cigarettes, finding a sexual partner that makes you feel young and vigorous. Let's see, what else? Food. And it's not going to be savory food. More than likely, it's going to be foods that we associate to accomplishment, food we associate to reward. Because, you got to be rewarded for this shit. Right?
I agree, yes.
Okay. So, what do we really need to heal here, right? You obviously are physically now uncomfortable, right?
Yes.
However, amongst the midst of all of this chaos and change, don't you recall saying, you know what, I have to eat. I have to have this. These waves of pain are almost intolerable. They feel like death. And I'd rather be fat than go through that. So I'm going to go ahead and medicate, okay, this stress and this pain with some form of brain stimulus that's going to make me perceive things are better. Doesn't mean things are better, right? It just is the perception of better because your brain is being conditioned with a narcotic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and if you don't go to that narcotic, you would go through what is essentially the death of that identity. It would happen faster. Those waves of pain, every time you don't allow them to come in and absorb, you're postponing it. So the whole context of time will heal, dude, your time is going to be long the longer you run away from that.
I never thought of it that way.
Most people don't because you're not, it's unconscious. Pain, move, go away. But it takes someone to be able to say, hey, look, I've been through big orbs of encompassing pain. And the moment I turned around and accepted it and invited it in and said, do what you wish with me, because I'd rather die now, here and now, than to continue to be insane running away. You're not that insane yet. I'm sure you recognize moments of insanity and you're like, fuck. So yeah, the sooner you actually accept the end of that part of your life and the end of that relationship and the end of that specific security, the more you go into that and you go into acceptance, the more peace you're going to have, the less need to vindicate. You know, what happens with that pain is instead of going into it, you're going to run and medicate, but chances are you're going to try to push that pain to the person you think it's coming from. That's called vindication. And he's probably doing it to you, right? So if someone's vindicating against you, that's a sign they are in so much pain. This is hard. It's so easy to try to defend yourself from someone being abusive to you, but you have to keep in mind, it's a reflection of their pain. So that is a reflection of his really need for you on some level. And I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but that might be what you're doing. Who knows? If it's a destructive divorce, man, there's got to be vindication. I would have the urge to vindicate. Why not? That is another way to push the pain onto, it's like, I'm in a lot of pain here, and I want you to feel this, because this is your fault. But in reality, if the truth is that this marriage is over, it's truly over, and you want it to be over, it's not their fault that you're in pain. The pain is coming from your denial of the end. It's like living a lie and then blaming it on them. So once you go into those feelings of death, which come from the brain, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with that physical reaction to death of a relationship. It's actually your brain believes it's life-threatening. It really believes it's threatening your life. And that life is stability. That life is security. And wouldn't you agree that the truth of the matter is that divorce threatens the life of your security?
Absolutely.
Financial security, love security, sense of worth security. Like, who are you and what am I worthy of, right? This person was a huge part. It's also a sign of codependency, by the way, right? I mean, the more codependent you are, man, the more painful that is, because you've attached your sense of security to someone else, and it's their responsibility now to secure you. So whose fault is it that you're in pain?
It's mine.
Yes. And the sooner you grasp that, man, the desire to go into this pain is going to be worth it. You're going to say, this is going to be worth it. I will let this thing kill me. Because that's what it feels like physically. But what is it actually killing? It's killing the pain of the past.
I never thought of it that way.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, sometimes it takes someone who's not in pain to to guide you a little bit, because I've been in pain before, and it's been enormous pain that was worthy of suicide. So, pain recognizes pain. That's the truth. My pain, personally, for whatever the cause was, is no different than your pain. Is it really? We're human. We are co-humans in this world, and we're living at the same time. So we actually can connect culturally, socially, right?
Right.
And sometimes it takes someone who's gone through the release of pain to guide someone else to do it without destruction. And I think that's the key here, because it's been very destructive. Think about your eating. It's harmful. The weight loss isn't actually a problem, because that's the consequence. And you're okay with that consequence when that pain comes in. It's like, holy shit, this pain feels intolerable. I can't handle it, because feels like I'm dying. And then you distract yourself with blame. It's everybody else's problem, right? And then you're going to use food because it will temporarily appease the brain's chemistry. But it doesn't appease the reason why you're seeing things the way you are. So, the key for you to make change is to stop enabling yourself to escape it. There's lots of escape routes for people. Okay? Specific with, let's say, food issues. Someone will say, okay, I'm fat and I feel bad about it. I'm going to go on this diet, and it needs to be strict because I need to have immediate gratification, because that's how insecure I feel. So they go into this diet. But what they're not really using as an understanding of their need for food is this outside stress stimulus, right? So what happens is these waves during this protocol or whatever diet you'd be on, this wave of pain that comes from nothing other than your trauma that's occurring right now, you're going to immediately say these boundaries around food are keeping me from defending myself. So now it feels punishing. All of a sudden, what felt like it was going to save you because it was going to help you lose weight and feel better about yourself, it is now feeling punishing the moment that the wave of pain occurs, right? And you'll have to find reason to stay on the diet or protocol. You're going to have to find a very good reason that matches the wave of pain. What do you think most people then, how do they get through that pain on a diet? They want to see their scale weight. They better lose weight. And it better match, right? The equality of the pain. So it's not necessarily a realistic idea of what your body should lose, but damn, it better be 5 pounds tonight. Right?
That's true.
So you obsess over that scale, and then in the morning you're like, this is my validation. I have to see the number. And what happens when it's less than what you expected or thought you deserved? That your body didn't give you what you deserve because you're dealing with pain and that asshole, right?
It's a failure.
Totally. You feel like failure. How does that affect your brain?
Negatively.
The same fight or flight. You just failed. That means you're insecure. And now what happens to your need to lose weight?
It starts to diminish again.
Immediately. A very rapid diminish. Screw this crap. I need my food. It's not working. Right?
Right.
So is your need and impulse to eat food, is it about the food?
No.
It's about your pain.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what makes you think that losing 20 to 30 pounds is going to make you feel better? Because your pain doesn't come from a physical form.
Again, it's a new thought to me.
Yeah. I'm happy to see that you're smiling. You're like, oh, this is great news, right? So you come in here and you're like, yes, I need to lose weight. I want to feel better about myself. I physically want to feel better, because I full as hell know you do not feel good physically. But that's more your stress. And yes, the weight and the inflammation from eating, but that's a consequence. So why would we micromanage your consequence when the reality is you really need to face your pain and accept the truth so you can move forward, so that it doesn't take time to heal.
Again, I never thought of things that way.
How does it feel to you? Is it feeling vulnerable?
extremely.
Yeah, I know, because pain is one of those things, especially when it's manifesting physically. Whew. You know, one way to think of this is like labor and delivery. You know, when you realize, oh shit, I'm in labor. Holy shit, this is labor. Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's what we're dealing with. You need to freaking push this baby out. It's coming. You can sit here and be like, oh, this hurts, it sucks. I want an epidural with my food, right? I don't want to have to feel the consequences. But you know what? At some point, don't you realize, once you come to grips with, you know what, this is labor. I'm having a baby. And my body knows what it's doing, and I'm just going to let it do what it does. And I'm going to try to meditate. I'm going to try to separate my spirit and my perception of pain from the physical reality. What an amazing experience. Did you get to do any of that with your labor and delivery?
No.
You just used an epidural? Or did you have a C-section?
Nothing. It was just so painful.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have
any chance. Did you have back labor?
Extreme.
So did I. My first two, it was nasty, awful. I couldn't even recover. My third one was different, and that's where I kind of have that experience. My third one, it was unbelievable. The ability to actually have the time, right? Because with back labor, there's no breaks. It's constant. That baby is literally pushing on your spine, and it doesn't stop when the contraction stops, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, if you had the experience to be able to have a little bit of a break, what happens is you realize that your breathing and your relaxation and your detachment from the pain, you detach psychologically, is an incredible form of pain relief. Okay? This is very similar because there is a physical pain that comes with the view that you're taking, right? And the key here is when you feel that pain coming in, if you shut all access to escape it, you're forced to feel the consequences of your beliefs. And man, if you have a incredibly huge and negative consequence from the way you think and believe, what is the chance that you're going to change your beliefs?
Oh, big time.
Yes, it's called accountability. What happens when someone is held accountable to the truth? Especially if they don't like the consequences. The consequences are severe and negative. What happens if they are held fully accountable? No escape routes, no one they can push, no one they can blame, no one that will take the pain away from them. They are forced to take on the pain of their beliefs. What is the likelihood that they will change their beliefs?
It's extreme. Yeah.
That is your solution. You have beliefs about your past that are really causing severe pain, and the brain actually thinks you're going to die. That's how severe your beliefs are. Until you face those beliefs and you witness the consequence, you're not going to really be forced to change. You're enabling yourself.
Never thought of it that way.
That's okay. I could be full of shit, to be honest with you. I am just speaking to my awareness. I don't know this. I'm just aware of it and I'm speaking it, and it could be just crap to you, and that's okay. But if it can help you in any way, do what you can with what you're ready for. Okay. And that's the other part of this process. You know, it's for people to shut all enablers and doors and to remove every single escape route to that pain. They have to be pretty desperate. You might not be there. And that's okay. It is a stage of consciousness. It's a state of a learning curve. And you know what? It's okay to learn at the rate that you're willing to feel that pain. Just be patient with the outcome, right? Just be patient with the fact that if you continue to hide from that pain and need food, you need to be patient with the fact that your body's going to get fat. Don't judge that. Don't feel bad about that. Right? That's just yet another consequence of you not taking responsibility with your beliefs. That is actually as much as to someone who is a physical zealot, meaning they think you have to have the perfect body and it's all about health and health is what makes people sane, which is hilarious. You really need to understand that your psychological well-being here is going to be more balanced if you are less judgmental of your consequences from trying to escape pain. Because at least you're accepting. It doesn't mean you're ignoring the consequences, which is what you've been doing, right? I don't want to have to feel bad, so I'm going to ignore it until it's so bad that I can't ignore it anymore. Or I will fix it at the point I feel emotionally like I have less pain waves coming in. There's the 2 points. They could be both. It's bad enough and you feel like you can handle it. You don't need the food as much right now, right? In this present moment, you perceive that this is under control, which is funny because what do you think the chances are that it's not in control?
It's not in control.
Correct. It's not. That is an illusion because you realize pain is that's what life is about, right? It's not the last thing that's going to cause pain. You have a child. That child could die. She should get disease. You could get disease. There could be a death in your family. You could have more conflict with your husband. He could be even more vindicating. He could ruin everything. Lose your job. Let's talk about literally, how much opportunity for pain do you have in this specific life right now? It's endless, right? Any corner. It can happen in any position. So the idea that you're not going to have pain is just, it's an illusion, right? Okay, so you might perceive that you're in control and now ready to lose this weight. Does that sound accurate?
Yes, but you're opening my mind to a lot of other things that I didn't think about.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is, okay, that you might be feeling like some rest. It's like, remember I said labor and delivery, you have a little break in the pain. Oh, you can take a breath right now, and now you're like, shit, I don't like being fat. Now I feel inadequate. Now I realize that, you know what, I don't like myself in this body, right? How much shame and guilt do you have over your body right now? All of a sudden.
Huge.
Oh, honey, do you see where that is like? You need some tender care. The last thing you need to do is to take on personal hatred. That is like the last thing that you need to do for yourself. What would you tell your daughter?
Because she doesn't have that problem.
Well, if she did, obviously that's why I asked the question. If she had that problem, what would you tell her?
Oh, I'd want to comfort her.
Oh, that's how I feel about you right this second. Can't you feel that? Like, oh my God, if I could just like reach over and hug you. You do not need to beat yourself up over the consequences of your behavior, okay? Because to be honest with you, where's the compassion for the pain you're in? Don't you think that it's forgivable that your body is responding to your need to run from that pain? Is your body forgivable? Has it done anything wrong?
No.
No, but you know what? If you hold yourself to society's standard of perfection as a woman, you should feel so shameful about this. And that's another thing you're doing to yourself. You're holding yourself to some standard of worthiness with the body as if it's you're holier than thou, the one thing that you can feel better than other people with. Right? There's ego attached to that thin body you used to have at 115. Right? That's where this is coming to bite you in the ass because there's no compassion for when you are in real pain. You don't have there's no grace. You have to have the perfect body. So not only are you not allowed you have to basically avoid pain because you can't, right? You're supposed to be superwoman, which enables you weak to handle pain. But this whole persona about I have a thin body, which makes me more bionic than other people, man, it sets you up to feel like real shit. Not only should you be in hiding, but you should be ashamed of yourself, right? That's a sign of ego with a thin body. That just tells me that, man, when you were thin, you actually thought that was you brought you higher in a standing. That's because you bought in to the fitness, weight loss hierarchy of I have a thin body and I'm better than you with an affectation, right? You don't have to have that belief either, right? Now, guess what you're being forced to witness? That, you know what? Isn't that kind of like shallow to be judging others?
Extremely.
Because you're not taking into account their reality. And it's unfair to put the body you used to have on a pedestal when in reality, it's not even your body. You didn't do anything for that. Right? It's the earth's body. You were handed it. So what did you earn? Really? You just were in a body. And that same body is keeping you alive right now. Is it worse?
No.
It isn't. It is the same amazing body. And it's just having to work a lot harder to keep you alive. Because you're having to work a lot harder to feel like you're still alive. That's the food. That's your medication. That's what makes you feel like you're not dead. Right? So, what's the point of all this? I think what you really need is some compassion. I think this is really a test of your individual sense of worth. The lesson here is that it's okay to love other people, but there shouldn't be conditions between the two of you that are codependent. Meaning where your sense of worth is directly tied to your partner. Was it your ex-husband's job to make you feel worth?
No, but I put it on him.
Well, that makes sense, right? For someone who's insecure. If you don't feel worth with yourself in autonomy, alone, and don't feel secure with yourself, I'm talking like secure just in living in this time. The ability to make your own, support yourself. The ability to parent a child and raise them to be self-secure, right? Like, how are you supposed to know how to teach your daughter how to have self-worth if your way of doing it is with another person? How do you do that? That's a lot on your shoulders, especially when you don't know how to do it for yourself. How the hell are you supposed to do it with other people, right? So now you have inadequacies with parenting, you have inadequacies with a spouse, and it all stems from inadequacy within yourself. So if we could like reverse time and go back to the last time you were single before you met your husband, chances are you are really insecure and found security in that relationship that probably set you up and set him up, because more than likely he found security in you. So now you've got codependency. And the good thing with that type of codependency is when you're on the same belief system, it's easy, right? You have the same boundaries, same control. But you know what? Chances are those controls were not good for your psychological well-being. No room for creativity, no room for authenticity. Chances are you didn't naturally just love him and his character. You like the idea of the marriage and what it represented. So when it came to you and him, all of a sudden you're like, I don't even really know this person. And yeah, and it stems, and keep in mind that you probably don't know yourself either. If you don't really have a good sense of who you are as an independent spirit, as an independent woman, as an independent whatever, if you don't have a real confident sense of that, how are you going to really have a confident sense of anybody else? And how are you to actually love anybody else?
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, well, don't you agree that what is the test right now is who are you? What are your values? What makes you unique and worthy? And don't you think that it's time for you to answer those questions? Without a mom, without your dad, without all of that bias. Just you yourself. This is like, and you get to have like the freedom to explore. This is such a great opportunity for you to kind of release yourself from all belief systems to really engage with what do you really believe, and don't attach yourself to something else, right? Just stick with your authenticity. You don't have to go, ooh, I'm going to go into this belief system. What do they believe? I'm going to memorize the list. And then I'm going to call myself by that name, right? Like, you are that. Don't do that again. You've already done that before. Why do it again? Don't repeat history. So let's start over. You're no different than a 12-year-old. But the brilliance of this is you're not in junior high, even though it may feel like it at times, right? And you don't have parents that are manipulating you to be what they want you to be. Right? So you really do have quite a bit of freedom. And if you continue to impose on your beliefs what you used to believe, you're going to repeat history. And you're going to be in a lot of pain for quite some time. So the first belief I want you to untangle and dismantle is, does a thin body make a person valuable? What's your integrity say?
No.
Okay, that's the truth, right? You're speaking the truth. You're not telling me something that was indoctrinated. It's something that you feel true to your core, that people shouldn't think that their body is a vessel to happiness.
Right.
Because then there comes with forms and beliefs, and it comes with, you have to visually identify it. What if you lost your eyesight? Now what happens to those beliefs? You can't even see your body. How do you know if you're worthy? You got to trust someone else's opinion. And where are their opinions coming from? Are they in the fitness industry? Are they in the nutrition industry? Are they a nurse? Where are they getting their beliefs on what the body should look like, right? So let's start over there, okay? Because really, don't you want to just find out what the truth is of your body without manipulation? If you just ate like a regular human being within the boundaries of hunger, right? Described in Weight Loss Apocalypse. If you ate that way, what's the truth of that? I mean, don't you want to find out what your body...
Absolutely, yeah.
Because that's really kind of the truth, right? It's the truth of, if you hold yourself accountable to eating to hunger and not eating for pain, what's the truth? Doesn't this seem kind of surface too? Like, in the scale of what we're really talking about, the body image stuff is kind of like, that's not even important, right? Your body is your body. You're not getting another one anytime soon. So this is the one you have right here and now. So you might want to accept it. Okay? So let that go. The next, once you kind of identify with, this body is acceptable. It's healthy. It is functioning. It has gotten you through a lot of life. It has provided you a child. And think of everything that it has done for you without you actually doing anything to earn it, right?
Sure.
So you can kind of put that aside and know that your body will protect you from what it needs to. You're going to let it do its job. You don't need to micromanage it, okay? And then let's get into, what are your beliefs? And start with you. Feelings inside. Who cares about anybody else and what they're doing? Why do you even want to care about what someone else is doing with their life? Focus inward. You're getting a fresh start and you don't want to repeat history. So let's just get rid of a ton of beliefs you've attached yourself to that are the cause of your pain. Beliefs about marriage, about friendship, about, parenting, beliefs about you, your creativity, what's important in a life, not someone else's life, in your life. What's important to you? What are your dreams? What are your dreams? Have you identified those?
No, not really.
And what's in today? What dream is within today's grasp?
Succeed in business.
For what reason? What's the context for that?
I enjoy it, and
Okay, hold on. So, succeed in business. I enjoy it. So then let's rephrase this. You're making a living doing something that you feel you love to do. Would you say that you are doing the best you can with that integrity? Your decisions are based on what's right. It's not based on, I want to manipulate people to make more money. It's based on what you truly believe is right. Okay, so is that good enough?
It is.
Does that need to be proven?
Probably not.
I would agree. It doesn't, because it is the truth, right? It's the truth. So how do you prove that that's your integrity? How do you prove that?
I don't think
you can't. Exactly. That's why when people say, yes, I need proof, it's like, oh my God, you're not coming from integrity then. You're coming from, I need an outcome orientation. That is so American bullshit business crap. Right?
Right.
Yeah, and that's where people get some major issues because they don't realize that what they're doing isn't out of pleasure. It's for, I want the outcome. I want people to look at me a certain way and put me on a scale of hierarchy so they think I'm a better person than I really am because I feel like shit inside, right? That is the truth. I know you know that's what I just said is the truth. How many people do you know could give a shit? They're just nasty on their way up because you know what? They need that validation. They need to feel better than everybody else. And what I mean by that is they need to feel like they are better than everybody else. That makes them feel secure, just like a codependent marriage. They're just married to getting validation from their work, not a spouse. What happens when they lose their job or divorce?
They lose their sense of worth.
And what do you feel like right now with your marriage?
It's very no worth.
It's the same thing. So it really doesn't, it's a belief system. It's a belief system. It wasn't the marriage that was the problem. It was your beliefs about the marriage that are the problem. No different than someone who's working in a business and trying to get up on the ladder or scale. Oh my God, look at all my followers on Facebook, right? They're trying to feel better about themselves by putting other people below them. It's a form of codependency and need for validation from some form. It's the same belief system, just applied to a different form of marriage, right? Okay. What's my point? I do not think you need to focus on how much weight you're losing. I really don't think that's the problem. I think the goal here would be for you to develop a sense of strength to go into pain and to weaken your need to hide from pain, okay? And however that hiding manifests, you're going to shut all doors. Food, shopping, any type of distraction from pain is enabling you weak to deal with pain. So if our goal is to strengthen your sense of desire and capacity for pain, what ultimately are you gaining?
I'm sorry, say it again.
If you strengthen your tolerance for vulnerability and pain in life without needing to distract yourself from it, what are you gaining?
Oh, it's a huge bonus.
You mean impermeable ability to live?
That's true, yes. That's a good way of putting it.
You mean to tolerate life? Glass half full mentality? Let's see. Overall happiness and the ability to take things without self-destruction, right? Perception, being able to have just the ability to understand and not take things so personal, just the ability to go through life and to feel that you're worthy of whatever's in your present moment. You're worthy of handling gain and loss. That, I think, is really a huge step forward. It's just feeling independent and feeling good about yourself. What do you think that would provide you? What do you think is going to be attracting to you if you are independent, love who you are unconditionally, have a sense of worth that is just, no one can give that to you, and you have it for yourself, all of a sudden, what does life feel like?
It's a true security.
It's so easy. Doesn't it feel easier? At least just easier, even when it comes to just relationships, because you're not trying to get something out of someone. You just want to know who they are. You want to get to know them. And there's a level of separation between their issues and you that you don't have to take on. Doesn't that sound easy?
It does.
Yeah, oh my God, it's so much easier than what you've been doing. So anyways, so screw the weight loss. Weight loss or what I just described?
What you described.
Totally. And what do you think is going to happen as you stop using food to, enable you weak to stress? What do you think is going to happen to your body?
It's going to drop off.
It's going to naturally do what it's supposed to do. So you better accept whatever that is, because isn't that really the truth of whatever the body is doing for you? So focus your efforts on the pain that you're dealing with today. That is what you need to focus your energy on. Your body will heal itself at the rate that you fix the pain that you're medicating with food specifically. Okay?
I get you opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Well, good. Well, you must be open to hear it, because there's plenty of people who come in here who don't want to hear it because they're just not ready. It feels too threatening to them. It's like taking away their one thing that makes them feel defendable. And they look at me going, what? That's painful. I don't like you, right? All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank you.